guys, welcome back to the second episode of season 2 of Head Over Heels. My name is Maggie and obviously I'm your host for today. But as you guys can see, if you are on YouTube, we've got 2 new faces, very beautiful faces. We've got our guest co-host for this episode. She's a content creator, Pilates instructor, and also a super single mom of 4, Siu Lim.
Hey, wow. Super single mom.
I love that. Did you like it?
I did. I love it. Thank you, Maggie, for the new title.
And of course, next to Siu Lim, in between the both of us, to those of you who cannot see but want to picture what's going on in the studio right now, we've got BIWEEKLY. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, you did.
Oh, yes. Nice. Nailed it. So she is a graphic designer as well as a content creator. If you guys haven't already followed her on Instagram, girl, I love your work.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I am excited as well. I think before we even dive deep into our conversation, how are you guys?
What a tough year. What a crazy year. You want to say it's crazy, but at the same time, I don't know. I felt like we all needed a moment to ourselves, you know, where we all kind of, because I wasn't, you know, before this MCO happened, I was barely home.
Really?
I would go home to sleep and then I would go back to work. Because, you know, being a single mom, I was up and about, always hustling and bustling. And I mean, it was good and bad at the same time. I had to get used to it. But overall, I'm guilty to say that I actually enjoyed being at home. Yeah.
I think I was just telling this to Bay that I think I'm quite an extrovert, but this entire year has elevated my introvertedness that I'm such a homebody that I don't even want to get out of the house to throw my trash. I'm so lazy now.
But this is the thing with the MCO is that it surprised me that it surprised everyone. Like a lot of people discovered a lot of things about themselves. Yeah. And I don't know, Bae, how did you find anything, you know, exciting about yourself as you were in lockdown?
I think it was interesting for me coming back from studying overseas for 4 years and then coming back this year and being able to spend so much time at home with my mom and, you know, being really able to catch up and hang out. And
did it drive you crazy or you guys got
No,
close
it was
together?
really nice. It was so nice to be able to wake up in the morning, have our coffee together and just really slow down because otherwise I'm at work all day, she's at work all day, maybe at night I'm out with friends and we hardly see each other. So it was, I quite enjoyed the MCO as well.
Yeah. Although, and you did say that you were thriving in terms of your creativity during MCO.
I actually, you know what, I totally agree with that. I felt that too. I felt like I could sit down and you have a, you know, like being creative, you know, a content creator, you need that moment. Sometimes you get overwhelmed with other things and you just want to rush through it just to get a video over and done with or a picture over and done with, and you kind of forget about the quality of it.
I'm like the other way around.
Really?
Only maybe because my MCO was way too eventful. I was in a hospital twice.
Okay,
so I didn't have that moment so much. But I felt really stuck in a rut. Like I just don't feel like I can churn out anything to, you know, there's a lot of things I want to do, but I was just so depressed the whole time.
I'm sorry. Oh man. I'm sorry.
But I'm better now, so.
Yeah, that's all that mattered. But do you feel like you've learned anything about yourself during that whole time?
Definitely a lot. I think it did amplify a lot of things that needed to be amplified in terms of communicating with somebody and needing someone in your life. And how do you tell that to that person? Because, I mean, this is another topic for another day. I say this all the time. Like, I live with my boyfriend. So that was a lot to navigate, to face each other every single day, the good, the bad, and everything in between.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of couples out there, they either made it or broke it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously now it is still CMCO, but we are all good. We're all healthy, and we are also properly social distancing as much as we can throughout. To those of you who have mentioned that, you know, the set is not that big, to be very honest. So we are trying our best. So the moment that the mic is off, we have our mask on and everything. So guys, don't worry so much. And everyone in the crew, like behind the scenes, are masked up and properly social distance. Just thought I should put it out there.
Yeah, I like walked in and I probably sanitized my hand, then washed my hands and then sanitized it again.
But cases are rising, and I really just hope that, you know, this nightmare will be over soon. Like 2020 is just one hell of a ride.
It's definitely a ride. But it's a different, I mean, you can either look at it as a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both.
We just have to carry on.
Yeah.
What can we really do?
Quite glad that it turned out this way, because otherwise I wouldn't have discovered what I did this year.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the one thing that changed a lot during this season is my body, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because in the beginning, when MCO was first implemented, I ate so much.
Agreed.
I think we all ate a lot to cope with it.
Yeah. There's nothing to do. All you do is watch TV and I'm bored. You go to the fridge, grab an ice cream, and then you do that same thing for 10 times for the rest of the day.
Yep. And then you're not mobile. So you're just like, let me do a few crunches. Because usually during out of MCO, I go to the gym, I go to my group workouts and everything. But this one, I was like, okay, did you, any of you guys do online classes?
I mean, I have to because I own a gym. So we had virtual classes. But apart from coaching, I think, you know, I just don't move as much. I'm just on the couch most of the time, and that 1 hour working out and then back to the couch. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's tough to admit this to two coaches, but I think after the first 10 days of the MCO, in which I was super excited, I was like, oh my gosh, time to do virtual workout here, virtual workout there, doing my stories, showing everyone I'm working out. And then 10 days later, I didn't exercise for 5 months. Like literally the rest of the MCO, I was like,
I
no,
don't
I'm
think
out.
you're the only one that did that. Yeah.
I was bedridden too, so I didn't get to work out.
You have an excuse.
Oh, well, yeah, technically, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I myself did that. I mean, it was like, I was gung-ho in the first like few weeks, and after that, it was like, I was just over it.
Yeah.
But I did do a lot of live classes.
That's good.
So,
and that pushes you to want to do it.
That pushed me, because also like being a Pilates instructor, you're used to just watching people do it.
Yeah.
You're bossing people around, you're walking around the room and you're just like, do it.
Yeah.
5 more, 10 more. And me, it was a new, like, it was something completely new. I mean, I had to teach, I had to, count, and I had to perform. I had to do the demos. And that was in itself a new thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning, we were also doing a lot of workout tutorials and stuff. But after a while, I'm stuck. I don't know what else to do. And it's also quite limited, to be honest, if you're working out from home, because when you're in a gym, you've got all these equipments.
Right.
But when you are at home, it does give a lot of restriction. And after a while, you just get bored and you feel demotivated. That's why it's so important to have this community, which I'm so happy that the fitness industry as a whole is doing. So that's awesome.
I was actually very surprised with the KL. I was so proud of
Me too.
everybody, of all the studios and all the gyms and stuff. I was so proud that we actually all worked together on it.
We did.
Yeah.
I was so proud. Like, from a lot of gyms are just doing it together, and I really like what I saw. But apart from that, and on that note, I think the reason why we touched on that was because we are going to talk about our bodies today, our journey with it, how people perceive it, and how we manage our own expectation. Because let's be honest, I think body image is something that we've all struggled with. For years and years, we've been conditioned and told to look a certain way, to be beautiful, to have this, to look beautiful. And obviously today it's all about the body image, the ideals, not so ideals, and everything that comes with it. Any thoughts, ladies, after saying that?
I don't know. Have you always been happy with your body?
No, honestly, no. I think for the past 10 years, I was struggling.
10 years. The past 10 years.
The past, I guess, without revealing my age, but yes, the past 10 years, yes.
Do the math, guys. Do the math.
Because I think when you're young, you don't really think so much about it until you hit puberty and your body changes and you're like, oh, what's going on? I've got boobs now and I've got curves. I never had it.
Right.
And that's when you start thinking about things like that. Oh, why do I look this way? Why do I have this and someone else don't?
Well, for me, it was a bit of a different story. I grew up in a very Chinese family, meaning that like every time I went to like a family gathering, my aunties, my uncles, my mom included, my dad included, their friends included, had just basically picked on my body from a very young age. They would be like, your legs are very short, your thighs are very thick, your arms are very, their fingers are very, stubby. I got it left, right, and center. And growing up, I didn't realize what was happening.
Yeah.
But as I remember being a teenager, I wasn't confident. I was not a confident teenager at all. And I think we all go through that when we're hitting puberty. But in this particular, for me in particular, it was tough. It was tough being a teenager. Yeah.
What about you, Bae? I think she's the youngest of the lot. You're only 22. Oh, my days.
Baby.
So for her, teenager was just like a couple of years back. For me, it was like 10, 20 years ago. Okay, not that long, but
not 20.
Not 20 years, 10 years, 10 years, 10 years.
I'm older than both of you. And 4 kids. Oh my gosh.
But you look incredible.
Oh, thank you. Really, you don't look like you've got 4 kids. Can I just say that?
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I hope I will look like that.
And also, I guess there's no right or wrong way to look after you have 4 kids.
Exactly. No, that's true. That's a good way to put it.
There's not. Like being a Pilates instructor, a lot of people who came, who come to me, they want to start Pilates because they're like, I just had a baby and I look like this now. Yeah. And
but that's your body.
Yeah, I actually think after giving birth that the woman's body looks way more beautiful than when they're younger because it's got more curves. It's got more volume to it. Yeah. Women don't look at it that way. Yeah. But going through so many clients, going through through the experience and stuff, I just find that the body, like it's something that everyone looks at it differently, but I see it as a very beautiful thing.
Yeah. And also a lot of people are like just so eager to have that body pre-baby.
Yes.
But the thing is, your body is already different and may or may not go back to before, but even if it doesn't mean you're any less beautiful.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
And I feel like the more you accept that this is the way your body is and you just work on it, and I actually think that people would be more happier with it.
And I think it's a lot about changing your perspective as well. Like, I think a lot of women after, giving birth or even just on their periods think, like, I'm bloated, I look like this, I hate the way I look. Yeah. But it's understanding that I feel like a woman's body goes through so many changes and there's so many, like, giving birth is like a miracle. It's like a crazy thing that women's bodies go through.
It is.
And viewing it from that perspective, like this is what your body can do, regardless of what it looks like. I think that's the amazing part that we don't focus on enough.
It's so strong. Women's body, I mean, men too, but I'm just saying that women going, it's so strong. You don't even realize, But a lot of women, they come to me and they're like, I want to get rid of this pouch. For those of you who are just listening, I'm just holding on to the lower abdominal. And honestly, most of the time, it just never goes back. I'm not trying to scare you guys.
Do you still have the pouch then?
I do. I had something called rectus diastasis, which means that these muscles, the abs, kind of split open. For it's a long thing, but I had that. I repaired it myself through Pilates. And I continuously have it because there are things I'm supposed to not do, but being an instructor, it's like not possible not to do it. And I do have it, but I'm proud of it. Yeah. Because I actually, I don't care anymore. I'm very happy. I feel good. Yeah. So.
On that note, what you said just now, Siu Lim, I think if you guys have been following me on Instagram, I've always been very loud and about body positivity. Not just body positivity, but just being okay with the way it looks because normalizing bodies, you know what I mean? Just being okay with a normal body.
Yeah.
And normal looks so different on everyone.
Yes.
And why do we need to mold ourselves within this construct of the body ideal?
Right. And it's very subjective, honestly. I mean, I remember one time my helper ran away and I was just like, cleaning the house and I was not eating properly and I lost a lot of weight. I lost a few kilos. On the same exact day, I had one friend come up to me and she was like, oh my God, what happened to you? You lost so much weight. Oh my God. Like she was disgusted. Okay. She was like, oh my God, you need to eat. Can I buy you lunch? An hour after that, I went somewhere else. Yeah. I had another friend that came up to me and she was like, oh my God, you look amazing. What did you do? What diet are you on?
Yeah.
And I was just to show you that it's so subjective. Yeah. One person saw me as like, wow, you lost weight. That's so cool. The other one's like, you look disgusting.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, growing up and experiencing so much, I realized, it's about how you feel.
Yes.
I teach a 20-year-old who comes in to do Pilates. She wants abs. She wants toned arms. She wants toned legs, and she's very precise actually, like what she wants to look like. I have another client who's like in her 40s and she's like, listen, Sue, I just want to be able to move.
I love that.
I just want you to move me. I want you to just make me feel good.
Yeah.
Different.
I think something I'm constantly reminding myself is that even if every single one of us ate the exact same food and we did the exact same workout every day and tried to burn the exact same calories, we would all still end up looking different.
Yeah,
exactly. We're all born looking different.
Exactly.
The way our bodies carry weight and carry fat, completely different. Yeah. So I think trying to have that ideal of like, I want to look like you. What diet are you on? What workouts are you doing? That just is not realistic and doesn't work that way.
And with diets and workouts and stuff, it's not one size fits all. Yeah. what works for you may not work for me.
Yeah.
You know, some people like running. I hate running.
Yes.
You know, it's just different. You know, maybe you love kale. I hate kale, you know, but actually secretly I love kale. I'm just saying.
Oh, by the way, like Siu is not from, you're not Malaysian.
No,
right?
I'm not Malaysian. I am from San Francisco, California.
American?
Yeah, and I'm a Chinese convert.
Yeah, fun fact right there. Yeah. To those of you who may not know Siu before this, but to those of you who already do, you would know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Back on that, Bae, because I know you do part-time freelance modeling as well for a lot of local brands that I've seen, and you do such a great job at it. You make things look so beautiful and flawless and effortless.
Amazing.
But my point is, have you ever like struggled with the idea of trying to fit into the mold of how a model should look like when it comes to jobs that?
I think I've been very lucky. Yeah. Maybe it's because I'm not signed to an agency and it's not something that, you know, it's not my full-time job. Yeah. I don't really rely on it to make a living, but I'm lucky that because I model majority for, you know, local brands who are looking for, you know, the everyday girl or a natural looking girl. Yeah. There tends to be less pressure on how I look. Most of the time it's conservative wear, so I'm covered up. It's not, you know, tight fitting. So I feel like I've been really lucky in that sense. Yeah. Sort of purposely chosen that path as well, because I know that I personally have struggled with eating disorders and have struggled with wanting to look a certain way. And I didn't think that putting myself in that industry where the way I looked was such a big part of that would be good for my mental health. Yeah. So I knew that if I ever went into modeling, it would be sort of this alternative route. Yeah. So I've been lucky in that sense.
Right. So just now you mentioned eating disorder. Yeah. Do you mind elaborating a little bit?
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I remember, this is so specific, but maybe I was 13, 14 and looking up Cara Delevingne.
Yeah, Cara D.
Yeah, Cara. Yeah.
I can never pronounce it.
I
just
can't
say
pronounce
Cara
it either. But I remember looking up her height and her weight and her BMI and being like, no, I want that. I want her BMI. Yeah. And that was ridiculous. I mean, to think back, that was ridiculous. But at that time, that's what I wanted. And so I would go to school, I wouldn't eat breakfast and I wouldn't eat lunch. Yeah. And then I would go back and I would have dinner with my mom and I would be like, oh, I had so much for lunch. I'm just going to have a little bit.
Yeah. And so how old were you, by the way?
I was practically starving myself. I was like 14 to 16.
Wow. Okay.
So I was practically starving myself. And a part of it is because I'm quite tall compared to the average Malaysian.
You are quite tall.
So regardless of what my weight is, I look bigger than everyone else.
You've got a bigger build.
Yeah, I've got a bigger build. So I'm not petite. I'm not, you know, small boned. Yeah. And what that meant was when I put on weight, I instantly looked like way huger. Well, that's how I saw it in my brain.
Yes, yes.
And so, struggling with anorexia a little bit when I was in high school. And then afterwards, when I was older, when I was in Melbourne going through like a really bad bout of depression, then turning to binge eating. So I gained like 10 kilos in just a couple of months.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that completely threw my body out on another loop.
Yeah.
So it's just been a lot of that. Yeah.
And where are you now with your journey with your body?
I'm in a much better place. I think because I'm in a much better place mentally.
Yeah.
That reflects in my relationship with food as well. Yeah. Because I'm not eating because I'm sad or not trying to eat because of, you know, I want to look a certain way. Yeah. I feel like because I'm in a better place mentally, I'm able to just, you know, eat when I'm hungry, eat when I need my body to, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not emotionally eating.
I'm not emotionally eating anymore.
Sometimes during this pandemic we do that. But yeah, I think I can completely relate. Yes.
I'm going to add on to that because when you said eating in a pandemic, I started going to therapy about a couple of years ago when I was really struggling with binge eating. And I told my therapist, like, I'm eating literally so much. I've gained so much weight. I'm so insecure right now. And she told me, you know, you're going through something. You're going through depression. You're going through anxiety. And your body's trying to deal with it and cope. And if what your body needs right now is to eat that little bit extra, then maybe that's okay for now. Yeah. And, you know what the causes of your depression are. Yeah. And as you work through that, your relationship with food will get better as well. And I think that's something really important to remember is that life is all over the place.
It's so true.
And if you are, you know, making it so hard for yourself to even enjoy a meal just because you're having a bad day, I think that's not the way life should be lived.
I agree. I mean, I don't count my calories, but I used to when I was trying to lose my weight. I tried all kinds of diets, even diets that requires me not to eat. And I think the turning point was when I was actually hospitalized for consuming this fat burner pills.
Ooh.
I know, it's crazy. My body had a bad reaction to it and I had to be rushed to the hospital because I was having rashes all over and they started itching like crazy and I started bleeding because I was scratching so much. It was just bad. But that was my turning point when I realized that nothing is worth risking your body for just to get that compliment from that somebody, just to fit into that dress, just so I can, you know, not get called fat. So what if I'm fat? So what if I gain a bit of a weight? You know what I mean?
Right,
like the worth of our body is so much more than just the number, so much more than the size of our dresses, the size of our clothes, and the way we look.
Right. I do always tell people, our body is our biggest asset.
It is.
Do not take that for granted.
And it's the only one we have.
It's the only one we have.
It's the one that's giving us life.
Yeah. And you can't you can't not take care of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard. I mean, there's a fine line, you know, binge eating. I'm going back to the binge eating. I think a lot of teenagers, especially, they go through this. Actually, I went through it when I was in college.
Yep.
I would not eat the whole day. And then, but I didn't know at that point, I didn't know it was binging. I just didn't eat the whole day thinking, I'm going to lose weight. And then I didn't realize like at 8 p.m., you're like starving. And then you're just like,
eating more than you should have.
And then you actually eat more calories or food than you would have eaten throughout the day.
Yeah. I don't know. I call it guilt eating.
Guilt eating, yeah.
Because that's what I used to do too. I tried this thing called GM diet where like
oh my god, you have a lot of diets.
Yeah, I've done that one before.
Like I think at some point you can only eat banana the entire day.
Yeah, it's like 8 bananas. It's something really unhealthy.
And I was like, God. And there was one day you can only eat fruits. And you know, if you think about it, fruits is great. But if you have to eat it every time for every meal for 24 hours, no, your body is just craving for something else.
Yeah. I mean, my basic rule for people who want to go on a diet, I quote diet because I'll come back to that later, is that everything with moderation.
Yeah.
You cannot go on like a juice diet and expect, you know, because I know a lot of people go on juice diets and yes, they do lose a lot of weight, but it comes back
water retention. It's not actually losing
fats,
exactly.
So. Exactly. And there's this formula that we all, you know, didn't study. We just follow these diets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't diet anymore.
Yes.
I really don't.
I don't believe in it.
Yeah, I don't believe in it. I just, like you said, believe in moderation. I eat my carbs at midnight if I want to. I snack a little bit, but next day I'll just work it out. Yes. And also another thing that I think, because Siu Lim and I are both instructors, fitness instructors, I just also want to put it out there that there's nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight and wanting to look a certain way. I don't want to, you know, like shame that. No, nothing wrong with that. Agreed. As much as we want to normalize normal bodies, you can still have a normal body and want to look a certain way. And that's completely normal. That's human. We always want something that we don't have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, to have a goal. But put in the work. Yes. Don't expect to look a certain way when you're not working out and eating rubbish all day and then complain about it.
Definitely.
So that's, you know.
I think it's really just more about how you're approaching working out. I think my relationship with like food and fitness now, it's, you know, where in the past it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and I need to do this because I want to lose this amount of weight by this time and I want my body to look this specific way. And so I'm only going to eat salads. And it's very restrictive. And I was going, you know, to the gym from a place of, I want to look a certain way and there's so much pressure around it. And then that completely changed when I started going to the gym, telling myself, okay, I'm doing this because I want to take care of my body. I want to feel good. Yes. I want to, you know, make sure that I'm still going to be healthy 10 years down the line.
Love that.
And actually I think I really started getting into exercising more around a time when I struggled a lot with anxiety because I was like, okay, I'm really, really anxious right now. I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack. So I would just go and run 30 minutes and I hate running. But it was just a way to release whatever I was feeling. And I just felt that going and exercising with the aim to be healthy and take care of myself was just so much more sustainable than when I just went to, okay, I want to look like this. Because then once you look like that, what do? You stop going.
Correct. What's next?
Yes, exactly. Because I did learn in yoga, like especially that everything we do, we always have the right intention for it. Yes. Because when you go in, you're just like, you know, you just want to lose weight and get skinny. It becomes very frustrating. And like you said, it causes anxiety. Yeah. But if you just aim for just feeling good, you put less pressure on yourself.
Exactly. Because if you, let's say you don't lose that weight after putting in this much effort, then what? How would you feel? You just feel shittier than before because you feel like you did not achieve what you planned to do.
That lost its point.
Yeah. So I think shifting your intentions are so important.
Definitely.
Like even as a coach in class, I would never focus on the way someone looks, but I would focus on their strength, their movement, their range of motion. Oh wow, technical stuff. So, stuff like that, being able to move a certain way when before this they can't even get into a squat and now they can. So those are the things I focus on, and that's the thing you need in life.
Yes.
I think especially because sometimes people go in with unrealistic goals as well. Like if you're going to the gym and your body is set in a certain way, let's say you have wider hips, and then you're telling yourself, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to lose weight and be a size 2. That might never happen for you based on the way your bones are and based on the way your body carries fat, and that's okay. Like there's there's not a one size fits all for how a body is supposed to look.
People come in class all the time, they're like, I want to lose my hips and I want to lose my shoulders, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And I'm so honest. I'm very blunt and I'm very honest with people. And when they come in, they're like, I want to lose this, and they point to a certain spot. I'm like, I can't do that for you. And they feel so disappointed when I say that, because my honest truth to them is like, I can help you feel fitter, but I cannot help you lose your love handle or your, it's the way the body is, is created that like, you just can't just lose that one certain spot.
Yeah, like our bone structure is as such. How what do you want me to do? Shave off my bones to be smaller?
Sometimes you don't know what to say. You're like,
But also, I think, speaking of that, the way we look, all of us are Asians, right? We all grew up in a double check. We all grew up in a Chinese. Are you Chinese, bae?
I'm half Chinese, half American,
right?
But I grew up here, so
okay,
Asian, yeah.
I think growing up in this Asian community, people are generally pretty harsh on the way we look. I think that's something that all of us, if you're Asian, can relate to. I'm not sure about other cultures, but every time during Chinese New Year, the first thing they would pick on ask is not, how are you? Wow, fat already, ah? Wow, you eat so much, good life, are you? Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, what? And then I get insecure about myself. Oh, where did I really gain weight? And it's just a whole thing that spirals down to a whole other thing.
Yeah, what's the worst thing that your family members ever said to you?
I've got someone who said that I looked pregnant.
Oh dear.
And I was just fat. He knows I'm not pregnant, but the fact that he said,
in front of everyone.
Yeah, in front of everyone. I think
that's the worst, is when they do it in front of everyone.
Yeah. Like, they call me Kaka, my Chinese name, Jia Jia. Kaka, wow, you look pregnant, huh? Don't eat so much, lah. Don't touch all these cookies today. I'm like, what? I had a really rough year. I just want to enjoy my time with my family, and here you are telling me not to eat those snacks. So that really messes up with my self-esteem, and then I think the rest of the day is just gone. Have you experienced anything like that before?
I think very similarly. It's like you go back for Chinese New Year, and I have one auntie that I am used to. Just when I first see her, she will say, wow, skinny already, or wow, fat already. Like it's either one or the other,
right?
Like it's never like nothing. It's always one or the other. And I got so used, because she's so blunt, that I get so used to almost chasing that validation of wanting to hear her say, oh, you've lost weight. So I will like work towards that. And I'm just like, sometimes I'll go up to her and ask, I'm asking for it. Like I want to know, have I lost weight or not? But it's so bad because I'm chasing it,
Her opinion, her validation
means so much to you.
Yeah, has become a need for you to know, to have. Yeah. And that is something that's been conditioned over the years. Yeah. Every year we get that. So after a while, instead of rejecting it, we unconsciously just, okay, before I even see her, how do I look? What would she say today?
And I think the ridiculous part of it is when they tell you look fat, you're not.
Yeah.
No.
It's really just like, you've either eaten and had a couple good meals with friends the night before, and you're a little bit more bloated today, and then suddenly it's like, Maggie, you're fat. Yeah. But that's not what it is at all. Your weight is fluctuating like a normal human being, but that's not the way they see it.
Definitely.
I've had worse things, but I'll share it in a bit. But what about you?
Share it now.
Oh, really?
I want to know.
Oh, okay. Well, not so much my size, but my color of my skin.
Oh, okay. You get that a lot in Asia, yeah.
Right? Because I think you're pretty fair. I'm a bit on the tanner side. Not super tan, really. Just tanner than my sister. That's it. I just look slightly tanner than my sister. And I don't conform to the standard Asian beauty, which is, petite, small, built, very fair looking, long hair, black long hair, big eyes. I've got nothing like that. I don't look anything like I'm the total opposite. I'm tall, I'm big size, I'm tan, and I've got regular eyes, you know. And yeah, for growing up, I just remembered always being told that my sister is the prettier one.
Aww. I think that's the worst when we're always being compared to another sibling or cousin or, you know, someone close to our age.
And constantly being reminded, don't go under the sun so much. You get darker and then you won't look pretty and nobody wants you anymore.
Yeah.
But
nobody wants you. Wow.
What? Really? They're
deep,
really harsh. I know the intention. I think they come from a good place of love, but I'm glad that we are having conversations like this. We are trying to like break the cycle.
Yeah. I mean, my kids themselves get it from random people. Like we live in a condo.
Yeah.
And I remember this one incident where, and it scarred my children for life, okay? I went in the elevator and with my 4 kids. Yeah, there were a lot of people in the elevator. At COVID times, I don't know what's going to happen. But an auntie and uncle came in and then they just kind of looked at my kids up and down. They looked at me up and down. They turned around. They were like, why are you so fair? Your kid's so dark.
What?
And my kids are very aware about this. But it was like really caught me off guard because I'm like, I don't even know you. You live in my condo and you're saying it in front of my kids. And I just smiled at him and was like, oh, but they're such beautiful children. So, you know. But I remember my eldest son, at that time he was 10. Mm-hmm. Since that day, he became so paranoid about being under the sun.
Conscious about him.
And I had to, I mean, that one incident really destroyed the rest of because ever since after that, I constantly had to remind all my kids, you're beautiful. If you were in California, if you were in Australia, oh my God, they would love your tan.
Yeah.
And sure enough, what happens is a few years later, we go to Australia and all these people just praised my kids. They were like telling them like, wow, you know, your tan is amazing. Where did you go? You know? But that helped. Thank goodness that happened because it helped build back their confidence. Yeah. So, I mean, even at a young age, people can get, you know, the body, you know, self-security.
Yeah, insecurities.
I think it's just so many things. Whenever you look slightly different to what the norm is around you, whether that's, you know, being taller and having a bigger build in Asia where most people are petite.
Yeah.
Or like for me, I didn't face as much of that growing up. But then it's like, oh, why is your hair so big? And I remember getting teased so much in school because it's like, you know, you need to tie your hair out because I can't see the board. And, you know, just ridiculous things like that, which is, you know, very small in comparison to some of the mean things kids can say. But it really makes you feel like an outsider. Like you feel like, why do I look like this and other people look like that? And why can't I look like that too?
Yeah.
And then you slowly become hateful and dissatisfied with your own body and the way you look. And that's how it grows into this whole thing called insecurity.
Right.
And I think one thing that is so important that is like a PSA to everybody out there is don't say something about someone's appearance that they can't fix in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Amen to that.
100%. Because if you're picking on somebody's hair, you're picking on their skin color, they're picking on the size of their nose or, you know, whatever it is, their weight. If it's not something that they can immediately go to a mirror and change, don't bring it up. You're just going to make them feel more insecure and bad about something that they can't change.
Yeah, what do you even expect from saying that?
I do wonder
hey, you gained some weight. Like sometimes I just don't know how to react because, well, I went through a year of depression and I've been just binge eating to cope with myself. You know, like how am I supposed to even respond to a question like that?
Yeah.
So completely, I could relate 100%.
Right.
Also, I don't know about you guys and to those of you who are listening, I used to be so, how do I put it? When someone compliments me, for instance, someone would compliment me, hey, Maggie, you look really good right now. And I would just find something bad about myself to respond with, oh no, babe, I actually gained weight here. Can you see? Like no one cares actually, but it's become like a reflex to not accept and reject a compliment and just...
Instead of saying, thank you.
Yeah. Instead of saying, thank you, exactly. That's in my notes. It's so simple. All I had to say was just, thank you. But instead, I would go, oh no, babe, look at me. I actually gained weight. Oh no, I ate so much. So that was a habit. Do you look
back on it and think, why did I do that?
Yeah, I think that was when I was on this journey of trying to, well, lack of a better word, love myself. I wasn't loving myself. I was doing shitty things to myself. I was abusing my own body, going through all these crazy diets, not eating and then eating so much and then just making myself go through all these things that my body did not deserve.
Right. And I want to say that I think everyone in their lifetime is going through what we're talking about right now.
And that's why we're normalizing it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever met anybody that said, no, I'm very happy with myself. I've always been happy with myself. Yeah. Very rarely do I see that. And I don't think that we were all born with confidence in of ourselves. You know, I think it's a skill that we end up building.
Yeah. A learned behavior.
Yes. An experience. And we have to experience all of that to see the good. I believe that, you know, as we get older, we should anyways, appreciate our own body. We should appreciate what we have instead of criticizing ourselves.
Yeah. And also like just shifting the focus to, instead of the way we look, what about our ambition? What about my character? What about my skills?
Exactly.
What about how talented I am? Instead of, oh, your thighs look big. Oh, you don't have a thigh gap. Oh, you've got thunder thighs. You got flabs here. So I'm just so sick of it, you know, like people still do that, but I don't take it too personally these days. I would just kind of brush it off and maybe respond with something else like, thank you. But
again, it's at the end of the day, it's about how you feel. Yeah. And this is why I love being in the line we're in fitness, is because that when a person comes in with that low self-esteem and they do 1 hour of exercise, you know, getting their heart rate up, getting fit, like sweating a bit, it switches from black to white. Because they suddenly, after that 1 hour, they feel amazing. They feel confident. They feel like they're a different person. They can rule the world. Yeah. And I love seeing that transition in an hour. So that's why I always, you know, I'm always like, you have to go work out. You know, that is my go-to. You know, anyone that feels sad about something and, you know, insecure or whatnot, it's always that. Yeah.
But then there's also this thing called social media. Ooh. Where this idea of body image has been distorted to a whole new level. I don't even know how to put it in words. There's apps that you can change the way you look. And nuts. Well, you technically now can fix it in 5 minutes. Yeah. So,
touche.
You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you guys think about apps like that? Have you ever succumbed into using it?
I played around with it, but I told myself never to use that on Instagram because I don't agree. This is why we are, okay, I hate saying the word, but influencers, is that
content creators.
Sensitive word. Sensitive. It's such I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh. But anyways, back to I don't want it. I don't rely on those. I don't use them because I do want that authenticity to be there. You know?
Yeah, I just think no matter who you are online, regardless of if you have, 200 followers or you have 2,000 or 20,000, 200,000, you do have an influence, right? At the end of the day. Yeah, and I agree. If you have somebody looking up to you, then you have a responsibility to them in that sense to show them that, hey, it's okay if you have breakouts, or hey, it's okay if you have flabs, and it's a normal thing. And if you have that influence on other people, do you want to use that for good and teach people that it's okay to go through all of these things, or do you want to show them, hey, I literally never break out, I always look flawless, if you don't look like this, then what are you even doing with your life? Like, obviously that's not what we're trying to project onto people, especially if you have a younger audience.
But I also saw that shift in terms of the messaging that comes on social media. I think in the beginning of Instagram, none of this were a norm. Like, everyone wanted to just put the most beautiful shot, the most perfect curated image on social media to portray how great my life is and yada yada. But I think now there is this movement of body positivity, which I absolutely love. I'm on board with it, and I believe you too, Bae, are, and you as well. Definite. I mean, I guess that's why I got the both of them on the show today. If you guys do follow them on social media, if you haven't, go do that right now. Like, Bae, you mentioned about authenticity and being honest, and I think you do such a great job at it. And just influencing the people with the right light. Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever struggle with it though? Or
I think more than anything, like, I feel guilt and I feel responsibility sometimes, as well as I feel sad for people who sometimes, they'll see a picture of me and it's not my intention to portray myself in a certain way. Yeah. But I am aware that I'm built taller and lankier. And to some people that's an idealistic body type, But in a way I feel bad, and I don't want to ever make it seem like this is the only body type that's the best or beautiful. And I will get people younger than me who are struggling to love themselves and love their bodies, and they'll message me, I want to look like you. What kind of workouts do you do? What's your diet? What do you eat? And that always breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because, I want people to do everything in moderation. And that tends to be my advice, like you said previously, to do everything in moderation. If you're sad today, it's okay to eat a bag of chips.
Yep.
If you're feeling good today, it's okay to go to the gym and then eat a salad. What does your body need? Do that. And wherever your weight lands on at that point, that's what's right for you.
Agree.
And I just feel like there's a huge responsibility if you have people following you, and especially if you have younger people following you.
Oh, yeah.
You are affecting, your mental health. Like I think about who I was in high school, who I looked up to at the time. And
in some ways, you're shaping their belief,
Yeah.
If they're constantly being bombarded with picture perfect photos, that's what they want. That's why I feel it's also important to really do a social media cleanup once in a while.
Yes.
I agree.
Choose who you want to follow.
Yeah.
Choose your intentions, because I know social media is just social media, but it's also what you look at every single day, what you're facing every single day, and it does subconsciously kind of condition the way you think, the way you do, the way you want things.
Yeah. I recently put out how tall I was really and my weight.
Okay.
And this was interesting because a lot of people were just shocked that I'm shorter than what, because I do get people that come meet me at like random places and they see me and they're like, you're actually really short. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Petite is the word.
Yeah. And honestly, I used to be very like obsessed, subconscious about my height. I used to feel like, because growing up in the States, everyone's like 6 foot.
Yeah.
So I was definitely a lot shorter, and I used to be so like, that was like for me, that was like the worst, oh my God, I'm so short compared to like all my family members, all my friends. Came to Asia and I was like, okay, I'm actually an average height. Okay. But being, on what I love about how when I announced that I was actually only 5'2" at 53 kilos, it made everybody feel so much better.
Really?
Because they felt like, but you look so tall, but you're actually,
and you could,
you're actually like, not 40 something kilos or 5'9", 6 foot.
But why does it matter though?
I don't know. It didn't. I guess it mattered because I don't know. Maybe they thought.
So what if you're taller? Then would they make them feel?
I don't know. But for some reason, I got a lot of responses
that
they were just they were happy, like to know that you're just an average.
Maybe they
size.
feel like they can relate. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my size too. Then I can pull it off the way you did.
Like, is that, I mean, I learned to be proud of my height now. I really don't mind. Before I used to always have to wear heels to make myself look taller.
Oh my gosh. I think I'm the other way around. I don't know about Bei. She's quite tall. We're both quite tall. So I think to give you guys, you listeners, some context, I'm 174. So that's about 5 feet 8.
Okay.
I'm 172.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're about the
1,
same height.
5.
So growing up in Malaysia, in an Asian country, we're always the sore thumb, like the odd one out. Like I will stand at the end of the line in class because I'm always the tallest and I'm always the last to get things because
that's funny. I'm the first.
And I never started wearing heels until this year because I would be so awkward in public and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I feel like a giant. I'm towering over everybody. And my family would be like, you'll never find a boyfriend because you're taller than everybody. And I'm like,
that's exactly what my mom said. Stop wearing heels. You won't find men like that's.
You're gonna scare them.
You scare them away. Nobody wants girl that's so big and stuff. I'm like, and that really messed me up too. So for the longest time, like you said, Bei, I never really wore heels.
Oh wow!
Even until today, actually, I think subconsciously I do not enjoy wearing heels. That's one. But if I don't have to, I won't because I know if I do, then I'll tower over everyone else, and then I'll look.
Yeah. I mean, as you can see in the example here, you guys are tall and I'm short. And we all have, at the end of the day, we all had like kind of the same problem.
Yeah. So what is enough? Like, whose validation are we seeking?
Right.
Like, can't we just do things for ourselves?
Why aren't we just happy with how God made us, basically?
Yes. I want to circle back to what you said about not knowing why people are so excited and happy to find out that you're, shorter than they thought you were. And I think it comes back to, what the beauty standards are. If the beauty standards are that you should be a certain height in order to be considered beautiful, then everybody's like, well, shit, I'm not that height, so I guess I'm ugly. And so to find out that someone that they look up to online, hey,
it's
that's around my height.
You're my height.
Because I think it's the same thing. Like sometimes if I post a photo and I'm not wearing any makeup and you can see all my, period breakouts
blemishes
and everything.
Yeah.
I had a message recently where somebody was like, thank you so much. I finally learned how to love my skin.
Yeah.
Seeing this.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because maybe one, there's so much bad to talk about with social media.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that there are
good.
so many more people who are allowed to be in this space of being so-called a role model or someone that somebody might look up to, and that you have that opportunity to reset what the beauty standards should be, to your audience at least, that it's okay to look like this or to look like that. Like it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
It's about how you feel.
Exactly.
I keep going back to that. It's about how you feel and how confident you are about yourself. Confidence is something that everybody keeps asking me, how do you build your confidence? How do you build confidence? That's a long answer.
I think to be confident, you need to
learn
first
to stop
be
carrying yourself.
and to first be vulnerable and be comfortable with that.
Yes, correct.
Right?
Very much.
I don't know.
100%.
I recently very recently, I posted this photos of my flabs. I'm sure you guys have seen it.
They're
Before
beautiful.
I posted, I thought
I said
a lot.
hi.
I was like, should I put this out? It's so...
I'm so happy you put that. I was so proud of you.
I was thinking twice. I did think twice. It was not like right away a reflex like, yeah, I'm gonna put this out there. Of course, I did have my insecurities. Like, would brands still think that I'm worthy of a fitness instructor with because I look this way, which is not what you would see in a sports ad or stuff like that. But when I did finally put it out and the amount of messages I got, it was insane that everyone just said thank you.
Because why? They related to you.
Yeah. So I think coming back to what you mentioned earlier, same context, and I guess it would be nice if everyone does that, but obviously everyone is different and everybody sees beauty differently as well.
Yes.
But so long you ladies do what you do, I think you will move mountains.
To just accept yourself and just be like, this is the way I look and I'm just going to work on what I have. Because like you said, you can't change anything about the size of your eyes, the shape of your nose. What you can do is just, change how you feel about yourself, which is, I think, going to the gym.
And I think... And I think, Maggie, if I were to see a post like that when I was in high school, that would have helped so much.
Right?
I just needed that one person to show me that, it's okay to look like this rather than looking up to, Victoria's Secret models or whatever and feeling like, okay, I have to look like that. I have to literally have no stomach. Just
really, my role model when I was young, it was Giselle Bundchen.
Oh my God, me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
She's
so funny.
Gorgeous, but
it was not realistic.
I'm not as tall as her. My body is just built differently from her, and I'll never have that beautiful curve and that small hip and long lanky legs, although I did dream to have that. But no, I don't look like that. So do I have a role model now? Do you guys have a role model now?
I don't want to say it's like a conceited thing to say, but I think our role model should be ourselves. Yeah, I know it's cliche, but
just be better than who you are before and work towards that.
Yeah, but after having, again, through experience, having kids and going through, a lot of difficulties in myself, I just learned that, what, I just need to look at myself and be happy with myself. Yeah. Who was your role model, babe?
I think you mentioned Cara D when you were younger.
It was not a role model, but it was really more like, I want my body to look like that, It's like, I don't even know her as a person. I don't know, anything. It's just I want to look like that, which is so not realistic. Now I don't really have a role model. Maybe my mom, perhaps, as my role model. But it's really I feel like when I think about role model now, I'm thinking, what kind of person do I want to be? How do I want to treat people? What do I want my work ethic to look like? That's and less about what I want my body to look like.
Yeah, agreed.
Very different.
Again, as we get older, I find that we get less superficial.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, I think as much as we say that we want to normalize normal bodies, it's still a journey. Just because we say that you should embrace the way you are, and if you really can't right now, that's okay. Yeah. It's work. It's hard work to get to, that. And it takes time, and just don't feel bad that you just want to do something, change.
I think what's the hardest thing about all this is that when we get criticism from our families or,
people online
and stuff like that, I am very guilty of actually doing it myself to my son. I mean, okay, being a single mom. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm a single mother of 2 boys and 2 girls. My eldest is a boy. So it goes boy, girl. And what happened was a few years back, I didn't, not having a husband or a man role model in my life, apart from my dad, of course, but he's away. I was watching my son eat a lot. Like I would feed him and like in an hour, he's like, I just want more cereal. And I'm like, okay. And then he was gaining a lot of weight. Yeah. And, being a fitness instructor, I was like, what? Okay.
That's a bit too much.
Yeah. I was like, And even at that time, I was still aware that, okay, you know what? I shouldn't call him fat. So instead, I'll be like, okay, you look and I would. No, that's just, I'm doing this for those of you who are just listening. I'm doing those little chicken arms, and he would actually get this from other people. So not just his aunties, uncles, whoever was around telling him that he's gaining weight, but on top of it, his own mother was telling him. Yeah. And I would even stop him from eating. I would actually be like, no, that's enough for you. That's it. And I at one point, then a really good guy friend said to me, no, you shouldn't do that. Guys just eat a lot. Yeah. And I was just like, really?
My boyfriend eats 5 bowls of rice a meal, so
but I didn't know that. Yeah, of course. I grew up with a brother as well, but I didn't feed him. Yeah. So anyway, over the years, I learned not to do that to him, not to always criticize what he's eating, how he's eating, whatever. I just let him eat. Yeah. But it was too late because what happened was a few years down the line, he starts wanting to lose weight. He's very paranoid about the way he looks at this point. He's very paranoid about his skin color, and he starts losing weight dramatically. And he starts telling me he's on a low carb diet. And he starts telling me, everything that I teach other people to do, my son was not to do or not to do. My son was actually doing it. And I felt so bad. I was like, what have I done? I tried to go back on it and I tried to be like, no, you look fine. But the scar was there already, and he was starting to lose so much weight that at one point I tried to backtrack and I'm like, no, babe, you look fine. You look amazing. You look gorgeous. Yeah. And this is another thing. I'm very cautious of telling my kids that they look beautiful all the time.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because I never had that. Growing up, there's, we all went through the criticism. But anyways, going back to my son, now he's like 5'9", 50-something.
5'9", he's so tall.
Yeah, he's so tall. He's 14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So and then now I'm just like, what have I done? I'm in work in progress. Yeah. But he understands, I keep telling him now, like, eat. But this is one thing that I am guilty of. I mean, we're talking about this right now, but I've done it. I've done it to my own children without even knowing it.
Yeah. But I think I always believe in learning from what we've done before and not repeat the same mistakes again. Yes. And also little things like self-talking. I'm beautiful. Yes. I'm amazing. It's okay to have this. And it's hard.
Yeah. But I want to remind people out there that this is okay to say that. Yeah. I think we also think that, it's an ego thing. Oh my God, I can't believe I told myself that I'm pretty. I can't believe I told myself I'm beautiful. That's so conceited.
Full of yourself. Yeah.
I think we were conditioned to think that, but I think it's okay because you know what? It helps you build the confidence. It helps grow your, self-esteem. Yeah.
Well, and it helps you look for confidence from yourself rather than waiting for somebody else to come and deliver a compliment to you.
Definitely. 100%. Like how long can you wait? And what if the compliment is not a compliment, but instead a criticism? Yeah. Then are you going to continue to live with that for the rest of your life?
Yeah, right.
So give it to yourself. If no one is complimenting you, I'm going to say it to you right now. And if you're listening, this is you. You are beautiful. And you can show up as you are right now and not having to, be in the mold of what society wants you to be. Time to that. Really, honestly. Totally. Throw it out of the window. Forget that. How you should look according to the magazine, according to what the media tells you, what your relatives tells you. No.
Yeah. At the end of the day, be grateful.
Sorry, I was a bit harsh over there, but I'm very passionate
about it. I agree though. Like, I mean,
I'm just so angry. Like, we've been subjected to this for years.
Yes.
And I think it's time we talk about it. And the next time someone tells me I'm fat, I will see if it's, I'll say, thanks, but I don't think there's a need to talk about how I look.
Yeah.
Like, tell it to them so that they realize, oh, okay, actually that was not something I should have said.
Right.
Because if we're going to keep...
you have to call them out on it. Because sometimes people are not aware.
Exactly.
They don't realize that they were a bit rude.
If it's someone that you can say that to, but if it's, I guess, a stranger, I don't know.
I think there's just so many factors that affect the way, especially women's body look. What's your hormones? Like, what's going on with your hormones? Yes. Are you on your period? Are you like about to get your period? Yeah. Are you, had you just had a child? There's so many things. And are you, depressed and binge eating? Are you depressed and, not eating?
Yeah.
There's just so many things that can be going on within your body that I feel like it's so wrong to look at somebody and be like, hey, you've gained weight, because you have no idea what they're going through in their life. Yeah,
exactly.
I do want to touch on the fact of the mothers out there. They're too harsh on themselves. They've just had a baby, and like within like a month, they're like, why is my body not coming back into shape? Yeah. Your body just went through 9 months of growing a human being inside. Give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Don't be too harsh on yourself. After you've had a baby, do what you got to do, slow it down. Yeah. Don't worry about shedding the weight off too fast, because what happens, it actually comes on faster.
Exactly.
You have to just be happy with the body. You have to enjoy having your child, and just take care of yourself. I think that a lot of moms out there, they're like, I want to going back to what we talked about previously, of how they wanted to go back to their previous
body. Pre-baby
body. And I'm going to be blunt and very honest with you, is that it might not happen. Yeah. It might not happen, and you need to accept that. And you need to know that you are so beautiful because you just had a freaking baby. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or more.
And adding to that, even if you don't have a child, we would still live in different bodies throughout our lifetime. Yeah. There will be time I was skinny as hell, and then I gained a bit of weight, and then do I go back to that previous body of mine? No, I'm so different now because I've grown. Yeah. I eat different. I treat myself differently, and you are going to live through different bodies through your lifetime, and learn to love every single stage that you are in, and stop yourself from trying to go back to what it was before, because it's not going to go back, because our body is constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. Definitely. It's constantly just,
We just have to do our part of taking care of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, I was just going to go off that and say, I think especially going from high school and sort of growing up and having a more mature body type, I think something that was like so crucial in my process of loving my body more was to take all the jeans and the clothes that I used to wear when I was 14 and 15 and donating them or getting rid of them, and realizing that my body's never going to be like that again, and that is okay. Yeah. Buying jeans that actually fit me for the size that I am now, for the body of a woman that I now have, rather than the body of a child.
Exactly. I think we've had a really beautiful discussion about our bodies, and I love what you guys shared earlier with your personal experiences and everything. But if you could give an advice to your younger self right now, if your younger self is listening, what would you say? Siu Lim, you want to go first?
Oh gosh, so I was like, oh my God, would you want to talk about body? Is it? I'm like, there's so many things I would tell my 18-year-old self, but you know what? You be you. I know it's cliche, but seriously, you be you.
That's why it works. You keep saying it.
I know.
Don't worry about it.
You be you.
You be you.
I think my answer is very similar to yours. So I'm gonna change your question a little bit. I'm gonna go to what I would say to people now who are struggling. Okay. I would say, I think you touched on this just now, and I just want to elaborate a little bit more that, social media and the way you use it is so important. If you are following someone that, you look at them and you look at their body and you're like, I'm never going to look like that, and it really gets you down, unfollow that person. It doesn't matter if that's, you or me or Siu Lim. If you're looking at one of us and you're like, I'm never going to look like that, I feel so shit today, unfollow us. Unfollow whoever it is that's giving you this sense of negativity and just bringing you down, because I think that's so important. Your mental health is so important, and what you're looking at every day really does affect you. And I think everybody should be way more conscious with the way they use social media and really curate that experience to take care of your mental health.
Yeah. And yeah, adding to what Bae just said, if I ever make you guys feel that way, I will give you the permission right now to unfollow me and call me out if I do. But no, if don't, then just continue on this journey with us. I think it's great that you girls are putting out such beautiful, real, honest, authentic version of yourself out there to make people feel that, yes, I'm normal. I'm not any less beautiful, any more, anything like that. And for our whole lives, we've always been dissatisfied with our bodies. It's just how it's been conditioned for some reason. But having this conversation right now, I hope that we'll normalize things and more people talk about it. More people will show the authentic version of themselves and not the photoshopped and made too Siu version of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we are actually, that's been an hour-ish. So ladies.
I told you we can talk.
Oh, wow. So before we came on, Siu Lim was like, I can really talk. So I think you have honored that statement of yours and I trust you right now.
Okay, cool.
But thank you so much, ladies. That was amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, I'm going to leave you guys with a question, okay? If I were to ask you to list the things you love, how long will it take for you to name yourself?
Ooh, how long will it take?
I mean, you don't have to answer me right now. Just think about it. So what I'm trying to say is just fall head over heels for yourself first and always self-love. Really put yourself first. And I think if anything, this season of pandemic and coronavirus has really made us realize that how important it is to take care of ourselves first. Yeah. If someone's walking close to you, walk away because we got a social distance. So because if you don't take care of yourself, then...
Yeah. I mean, going back to the, when you're in the airplane, and then how they tell you that you mask yourself first.
Yep.
Same thing, guys.
So, So forget about the social standards. Detach yourself from that idea and start looking yourself into the mirror. Oh my God, my grammar. In the mirror and just take your time to be okay with what you see.
Yeah, and I think take care of yourself to feel your best and the way you look, that will just fall where it's best for you.
Yep.
And that's the most important, is that you're taking care of yourself for your health above everything.
Yep. Mental health, body health, and then your movement,
emotional health.
Yeah, emotional health, everything. Also, another thing that I would just end it with is that to those of you who are listening, men, women, whatever, if you're a human being, I want you to know that your body holds so many qualities. And the qualities are far beyond your shape and your size. And you are more than just your body.
Yes.
And with that, we have come to the end of the episode for real. And
I know, it's like 5 minutes ago.
adding on to that. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And hopefully we'll get you guys on again for another topic. Thank you so much.
That'd be amazing.
Thank you.
Cool. And how can our followers, listeners, follow you guys and find you? Maybe a bit of a plug-in.
I am on Instagram.
Everyone is, right?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. SIULIM. Siu Lim.
I'm on Instagram as well, BAYDOUCET.
That's right. And we are on Instagram as well. It's The Head Over Heels. You can also find us on YouTube if you want to see their beautiful faces. It's the Takeaway Tables channel. And guys, I think that's about it. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care and stay safe and hopefully no more CMCO. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.